Valentine's Day. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, I decided to become a vampire therapist. And I will be speaking with couples who perhaps their relationship isn't going quite as they would like it to. I know, I could have played something where it's all happy and lovey, but I was kind of drawn into the idea of being a vampire therapist. So that's what we're gonna do. We have to choose a... What happens if I click this? Should I have chosen one of the things, do you think? Okay. It's meant to be played after the main story, but I didn't do that. So we'll see how things go, okay? But yes, if something's confusing, it's not the game or the writing. It's just because I didn't play the original game first. But I am going to, because this seems like a really fun game.
Good evening, Samuel. I know you are busy packing to go back home to the United States,
and it's
but
voice
I
acted
thought
too.
you would enjoy one more therapy opportunity before you leave.
Oh, sure thing, boss. I'm finding this therapy stuff real fulfilling, and I think I'm pretty good at it. No need to disqualify the positive.
We're in a nightclub, by the way, if you can hear the music.
You have faced the embodiment of lust, a furious mother, a fallen angel, a vampire from the ancient world, and even a child actor. I would say your pride is well earned.
Okay.
Well, thank you kindly, Andy. So what do we got tonight? A fascist dictator? A forgotten goddess? The head of the Illuminati?
Nothing so grand, but infinitely more complex. Tonight, you will tend to a couple.
I hope I don't make them break up.
When one does not die, relationship problems tend to fester terribly. Most vampire breakups end with a stake in the heart, but perhaps you can prevent this.
I can try.
Here, take a look at their intake form.
Okay, we've got A. Momoro and R. Hausmanjada. One is 208 and the other is 71. Now that's quite the age difference. Male and male, and the origin is revolutionary France and Iran. Okay. This pair of vampires requested therapeutic help in resolving domestic disputes. Curiously, they both were killed after respective revolutions in their countries. They have expressed difficulties in communication, a common thread in vampires with large age gaps. This pair has 197 years between them. In his V-mail, M. Momoro expressed that his partner had difficulty with criticism and excessive defensiveness. Suggestion, keep contempt out of the room. Okay.
Good looking pair, I'll give him that.
Physical attraction is a quick way to form an intense bond, but reality rears its head quite quickly.
That is true. That is true.
There's a pretty big age difference. Probably causes some problems too.
Sometimes. Crimson and I often do not understand each other's references, but we see them as opportunities to learn.
That's a healthy way to look at it, I think. I think if you have an age gap, say, of like 10 years or something, just like learning each other's references is the way to go, rather than like criticizing each other or something. So I was having a sip. As always, beverages, fleecy blankets. This is a very cozy room that we're in right now, so we may not need the fleecy blanket because the fire is roaring in the background.
The important thing is to remember that we are all individuals. With this in mind, what do you think is the most common distortion couples face?
Oh, I don't know. Mind reading, emotional reasoning, personalization. What does this mean? I would say most common problem between couples. Probably emotional reasoning. Because if you do the mind reading thing, you may be like thinking that you know what they're thinking, but it's your emotional response to it that matters.
It's emotional reasoning. It can seem like the world's falling apart when our partners ain't on the same level with us.
Oh, is that what that meant?
This is certainly true, but there is another distortion that leads us to believe our partners do not think in ways that work for us. What is that distortion?
Mind reading.
It's gotta be mind reading. It's the most exciting and the most terrifying thing about being with another person. We can't ever know their minds for certain.
That's right, Samuel. Time spent together can make a couple believe that they can read each other's minds, but this is an illusion. You may pick some other distortions you think a couple is likely to exhibit.
Oh, okay, so I have to choose. So their core distortion is mind reading. Oh, look how pretty his pink eyes are. Okay. What's Nosferatu thinking? Control fallacy, overgeneralization, emotional reasoning. I think always right is gonna be one of them. Disqualifying the positive. So he gets defensive, right? Or he gets defensive. So blaming will be one of them. And disqualifying the positive, always right, blaming, and probably emotional reasoning.
I think I've got some good ones here.
I am certain they will all manifest themselves, my friend. Good luck tonight. I am eager to see how you work with these two.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm ready. Here they come.
Here they come! Oh, they come in his
Bonsoir.
back! Oh, that's so cute.
Salam.
Well, howdy. Nice to meet you two fellers. Glad I could squeeze you in.
I love that. 3 different ways to say hello. Was it salam, bonsoir, and howdy?
Very kind of you to find time for us.
Yes, I want to fix everything. Come on, let's go. Let's get started. I'm ready to do the work.
Okay. So this is Riza, I
It's
think.
good to hear you're raring to go, partner, but let's think of this less as fixing and more about helping you folks understand yourselves better.
Come now, mon amour. You have all the time in the world. I swear, you forget you are dead sometimes.
I'm not dead.
Oh, okay.
Undead, mon chaton. I know. I'm so sorry, mon ami du Far West. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Antoine Francois Momoro, but call me Momo.
Hello, Momo.
And I am Reza Hushmanzadeh.
Hushmanzadeh.
Well, howdy, Momo.
think
Mighty
I was
fine
kinda
meeting you,
close.
Mr.
Hushmanzadeh. Hushmanzadeh. This one, I think.
Hushmanzadeh?
Right?
Yes, very close.
Yay!
Well, I'm glad I got it. Sometimes people think I can't get these foreign things right on account of this hat of mine, but I do my best.
I love how I'm like a Western vampire. I'm a cowboy, baby!
So, what's bringing you two to my window?
I simply asked Reza for a little more living space. I asked him to move to the other side of my castle, and this made him quite upset.
I can understand why that would make someone upset.
You got a castle?
Do you not have a castle?
Yes, actually. I am residing in a castle right now. But my castle's called Castle Unknown, so, and I bet it's fancier than yours, Momo.
I know we vampires can get the castle mania, but I'm not sure why I'd need one myself.
Us dragons like castles too. We also have Castle Mania.
So you could banish your boyfriend to the other side of it, of course.
It's the other side of a castle. You can walk, can't you?
He wishes it were a bigger castle so I could be farther away.
Is that true though, or is that mind
Hold your
reading?
horses there. I'm sensing some feelings here. I know once we get them emotions up, we're shooting cognitive distortions all over the place. Oh, sorry. I probably shouldn't come out of the gate and use terms like cognitive distortions.
That's all right. I know them already.
I know them too.
Well, shucks, that just makes this a whole lot easier. Now, Rizzo, what'd you say about Momo wanting a bigger castle?
He wants a bigger castle so he can banish me further.
Okay, that's mind reading.
Rizzo, how do you know
What?
Momo
I
here
got
wants you
stabbed?
even farther away? Did he tell you that?
That wasn't mind reading?
Yes, he told me by banishing me.
No! Objection! I got stabbed, which I think means that I was wrong. However, he didn't banish you because he wanted you away from him. He wanted more room for himself. Look at him. He's a fancy bitch. Maybe he wanted more room for furniture or clothes or something. And it's a big castle. Maybe he just, you know, wanted a bit of space. We all like some space sometimes. But that's mind reading, because you decided it was because he banished you because he doesn't want to be with you.
Here speak for himself and see if he thinks that.
I don't want you farther away, Reza. I just need more time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Momo's saying he wants space, not to banish you, Reza. You might have been reading his mind some.
I'm just angry. I get worked up when I know he doesn't respect me.
Always right. Emotional reasoning, I
Slow
think.
down, Reza. I'm glad you said you were angry. I know when I'm hopping mad, things can seem pretty dire. A doctor I know once told me that's straight up chemical and normal for any animal. Once we cool down, though, we don't need to see things the same way. So why are you saying Momo doesn't respect you?
He talks to me like I'm a child. All the time he tells me how innocent I am and how I'll cool down when I'm older.
I can see why that would be
can be
seen
a
as
touchy subject
disrespectful.
among us undead folks. How old are you, Reza?
I'm 71 years old. I'm not a bache.
But you are a baby, mon chaton. So am I. And you, cowboy? I'd say you are a bit younger than I am.
Oh, yep, born 1801.
So you see, we are all babies. Let us cry together.
I like Momo. I think that Momo is just not offended by things, so he says things that he knows wouldn't bother him. Because look, he's calling himself a baby as well. So when he calls Reza a baby, I mean, when you think about it, there are vampires that are thousands of years old. So 71 is a baby. He's just a baby,
You see what I
Reza.
have to deal with?
Momo, it seems as if Reza doesn't like being called a...
He should not be so sensitive. Being called a baby wouldn't bother me.
You see? But he has to respect his partner's wishes.
So, Momo, what triggered this desire for more space?
Nothing to do with Reza. I simply accept that the era of feudalism has ended. First of all, we must examine this notion that a couple must live together.
Yeah, I think that I've known of some celebrities who didn't live together. They lived next door to each other. So they could like visit each other and stuff like that and be with each other if they wanted to be, but otherwise they had their own space.
Under the feudal system, of course, it makes sense. The family must tend to the land and hearth and ensure the lord gets his due. But couples live together out of necessity, ouais? It is no longer the 18th century. We are allowed the leisure and peace that the aristocracy has always enjoyed.
I guess that's true because kings and queens, they would sleep in separate bedrooms, like on other side, well, not other sides of the castle, but actually I don't know, like maybe other sides of the castle?
And that includes peace from one another, n'est-ce pas?
You think you deserve what the aristocracy has because you are an aristocrat now. You're not a common man.
Oh yeah, if you look at the difference in how they're dressed as well, like how did these two end up together? Was it physical attraction, do you think? Or, I mean, opposites do attract though, don't they? So maybe, because he's quite flamboyant and he's very like down to earth, like manly man. So maybe that like, yeah, they attract, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sensing there's some deeper conflict here.
Only the oldest conflict, mon ami. I am afraid my dear boy Reza has taken my words a little too seriously. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. I wrote these words as a mortal, believing that we could wipe away the class system entirely, and that all humankind could respect one another.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And then you gave up. The French Revolution accomplished nothing. I plan to accomplish something in my country.
I mean, to be fair, in Slendria, I was going through a revolution too. I'm not going to say much more than that, but there may be reasons. I'm in hiding in Castle Unknown. Oh, I don't know what that would be. That would be... It's not really blaming. What about disqualifying the positive? Okay, I got stabbed again.
Man myself, but I know a revolution ain't
What's
ever a
this?
minor business.
Let me see. I've just got that information there. Whoa! Okay. Control. Oh, Nosferatu thinking. Sometimes things can seem black and white, win or lose, famine or feast, live or die. Like everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've got only two options: winning the day or ending up with a stake in the heart. That's Nosferatu thinking. It's thinking in extremes and ignoring all the in between. We stress ourselves out when stakes are high. Examples: if I can't get the best saddle, my butt's gonna break. Ain't no doubt. Labeling. Discovering the positive. On account of the nasty stuff I've done, I can feel like a real good for nothing sometimes, but that's disqualifying the positive, cancelling out the good and leaving the bad. It ain't a distortion to see the positive in yourself in a situation. It's just being honest. The Three Stooges just smack each other in the head a bunch, though I still like them. Okay, so when I chose disqualifying the positive, it was not what I thought it was. We didn't choose personalization. Emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning is when we act like our feelings represent reality. But no matter how unhappy we are, feelings alone don't define the world. I asked Andy, ain't everything emotional reasoning? He said no, emotional reasoning specifically when we project our feelings onto the world. The world can feel like garbage when I feel like garbage, but that don't make it reality. I get the shivers walking into the ghost town, so it's gotta be haunted. Okay. I feel uncomfortable with young vampires, they must be up to no good. Blaming. Blaming is kind of the opposite of personalization. Instead of everything being about us, we act like it's all about someone else. Yep, sometimes we're at fault and just don't want to admit we have some control. When we can't admit contribution to our own problems, we point the finger at someone else, and that's blaming and a distortion that needs fixing. Okay. I have mine reading. When we assume somebody's thoughts, they have no opportunity to prove otherwise. People usually imagine I'm sitting here thinking about horses, but that's only true some of the time. It's mind reading to invent someone else's thoughts. We can't know them. Always right. We get things wrong and we all know it, but in the heat of the moment, we might get so worked up we feel everything we say is correct. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go blaming, even though...
if the French Revolution didn't achieve
I thought
everything its people
I wanted to choose one. Never mind.
You might even be diminishing the sacrifices of the people who fought and died.
Clearly, Reza thinks that it is nothing that they cut off my fucking head.
Oh yeah, he's got scars around his neck.
They killed me too. You don't see me giving up.
Because you haven't figured it out yet. The only way you will finish your revolution is if you kill every aristocrat, their children and their children's children. And it is not enough to kill all the aristocrats. You have to kill even the memory of aristocracy. And that you cannot do.
Interesting point from Momo.
That's where you're wrong.
You're such a child.
And you're such a sellout.
We need to calm them down.
I'm starting to wonder if you two are even dead. Your blood is so hot. I sure as shit hope there's something you appreciate about each other.
Of course there is. I adore Reza.
And I love Momo. I want things to be the way they used to be.
Yeah, but that was probably in the honeymoon period. Which I don't know how long that lasts for vampires.
Well, Momo, why don't you start? Tell me what drew you to Reza.
Well, first of all, look at him. I'm too old to deny that physical attractiveness is part of his appeal. His Persian disco music clothing tastes are unfortunate, but it is exciting to see a little displayed masculinity. But beyond that, he is so passionate. His blood is cold, but he's all fire inside. He reminds me of myself in my youth. He sees a new reality, and he wishes to bring it into existence through sheer force of will. He is inspiring.
I can see why that would be attractive.
Well, that's beautiful, Momo. It's easy to fall for someone who fights for the impossible. What about you, Reza? What drew you to Momo?
I was obsessed with Momo before I even knew him. I read about Antoine Francois Momoreau back in university. Through his published works, he was my teacher. We could not have started our revolution without studying him. He knew how to unite the classes against their oppressors. That is genius.
Well, I'm glad to hear all these positives. Reza, Momo said you were inspiring. Sounds to me like he does respect you.
Fine, maybe he does respect me. But it's clearly my fault he doesn't follow me around.
Oh, I don't have personalization.
Buckaroo, you are making this all about you. Now,
I'm doing
if Momo
so
wants some
badly, I
space,
think.
that's up to Momo. Momo's got his own needs, and they might not have much to do with you.
But we were fine before. Why am I not good enough for him now?
Hombre, you gotta hear me. It ain't always about you. You could be the sexiest vampire on this earth, and even then, you couldn't expect to be wanted all the time.
That's true. Like, sometimes it can feel like, you know, you're being dismissed or something, but in actuality, it's, you know, people aren't always like, oh, gimme the sexy vampire. They, you know, they want to chill and, like, read a book or watch a film or something. So, you know, it is true. Even if you are attractive vampires like Momo and Reza and Sam, you need to be understanding that your partner isn't always going to want to, you know, boom-de-boom!
Mon chaton, you are being dramatic. Why are you afraid of a little space?
You won't be interested in me anymore. You just want me farther and farther away, and eventually you'll want me gone.
I'm just going to say quite on the positive.
Reza is making some dire predictions. At least he does not assume Momo wants to destroy him.
Okay, so I messed
You
up.
won't be interested in me anymore. You just want me farther and farther away,
Oh,
and eventually you'll
so
want me
maybe I have been getting things right, and when I get things wrong, that guy appears. Mind reading.
Padre, you are jumping straight to the worst possible ending here. Has Momo suggested that he's done with you? There are always going to be question marks in a relationship. You don't know where this thing is going to go. But you're filling in the blanks with doom and gloom.
What I do know is that Momo always used to be happy to be around me, and now he's not.
Is that true, though, or is it just that he wants a bit more
Reza,
space?
I love you. What is that phrase you taught me? Gigaretto Bokaram?
Ooh.
Oh, what's that mean?
It means I want to eat his liver.
Oh! Okay. That's interesting romantic sweet talk.
Shit, I thought the goths here were kinky.
I don't want to literally eat his liver. It is, how you say, cute aggression.
Cute aggression.
As in, I find him so irresistible, I wish to eat his liver. It's a lovely sentiment.
I always find cute aggression really strange. Like, I've never been the kind of person to see a baby and being like, oh, I just want to eat you. That's just not me.
But Reza, petite souris, you care so much. But you do not understand. I can care for you, but have my own concerns. I do not wish to be with you all the time, and you cannot force me to. Just as you cannot force your people to revolt. These are inevitabilities you must accept.
Hard truths, but, you know, sometimes you have to accept a hard truth to keep a relationship together. But I can see both their points. I feel like I would honestly feel like Momo didn't want to be with me anymore if he, like, told me to go to the other side of the castle. So I understand Reza thinking, well, what have I done? But I also understand Momo is like 270 something. He wants his space.
It is simplistic to think revolution is ever
It's bad
truly
enough
complete.
to be around people
Look at the world
for
itself.
however long
Revolution.
humans normally live. Imagine living that long. I mean, I'm going to live a long time, so... But I won't always be around humans.
It is literally circular. France is now in its fifth republic. Authoritarianism rises, then the people get their turn. Authoritarianism rises once more, and the people rise again.
You once believed in progress for all.
Dear Reza thinks too highly of me. I coined this phrase in error. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. Liberty, equality, and brotherhood. Liberté and égalité can be achieved by the gun and the bayonet. But achieving fraternité, c'est impossible, because the upper classes cannot relate to those they hold dominion over. So the revolution, the cycle of war, shall never end.
This is interesting, isn't it? Like, it's not just about, you know, the romance between the vampires. Like, the stories they're telling are really interesting. I'm going to say always right.
I think I want to challenge you there, Momo.
Oh? This should be good.
There is something exceptional about us vampires. We don't die. My mentor, Andy, he's older than feudalism. We wouldn't recognize people from his time, and I reckon folks 2,000 years from now won't recognize us. If Rez is patient, heck, maybe he'll see the kind of future he wants to see.
I was not expecting this argument. Yes, I concede. Perhaps in 2,000 years or maybe 10,000, class will achieve some sort of irrelevancy on a new planet. But such a distant future is hardly worth thinking about.
I don't know, because people will always have envy. And 2,000 years ago, perhaps it was different, but there weren't as many people then taking up as much land. So, I don't know. I'm not a historian.
I refuse to believe that we died for nothing. Momo can wait forever for things to get better, but that is disrespectful to our comrades. Do you know that in my country it is illegal to be gay? That we have a morality police that forces people to act and dress as they dictate? It is not fair for future generations to have freedom when this generation must suffer. I died to make a difference.
I can see why he's so passionate.
Both of you are trying to tell me that I fought and died for nothing.
No, you didn't.
We are doing nothing like that. You see threats everywhere, mon petit chaton. Does your mind never know peace?
Doesn't seem like it, does it? It seems like he's stressed out and angsty a lot of the time, but he's got a lot on his plate, or at least on his mind, you know, if he's trying to bring about revolution and make people like himself safe in his country.
And you don't worry enough. You think I'm just an irrational child. You think my ideas are pointless.
Hey, that's mind reading
Both of
again.
you are going right back to the mind reading again. Look, we gotta sort out where the truth is here, and something tells me we ain't gonna do it while we're all here in the same room. I'd like to talk to you two by your lonesome, so I know where you both are coming from. Does that sound good?
I don't want to stretch this out forever.
Reza, dear, you forget we are dead. Have patience. Cowboy, I think this is an excellent idea.
Well, why don't we start with you then? You can come visit next week, and then I can talk to Reza the week after. The same time work for you?
Yes, I am not busy.
All right. Now, Reza, you can hold on, right? I hope you two can schedule a nice date one of these evenings.
Yeah, go on date night.
If Momo wants one.
Okay, to be fair, he is kind of sulky, isn't he? He is behaving a little immature.
Of course, I want one petit chouchou.
Petit
We discuss it when we
chouchou.
get onto our castle.
Petit chouchou.
Merci beaucoup, thérapeute. À la semaine prochaine.
You are fascinating to observe, my friend. You have a keen sense of when to cut in and when to let someone speak.
I'd say, why, thank you, but I'm not the one controlling that.
They showed me when to cut in pretty quickly. Them two are real good at getting on each other's nerves.
Long-term relationships are difficult for the undead. If you think the 7-year itch is bad, imagine a 700-year itch.
Have you been in a relationship that long, Chief?
No, my longest was about 400 years. We were more than ready to kill each other, and indeed, that is exactly what happened.
Oh, look at this. Look at this dude, by the way. He's sexy. Attractive vampire man.
In retrospect, he wasn't that bad. I simply could not stand his constant hissing at me.
Oh my lord, how would you handle someone hissing at you all the time? I mean, I deal with it with Bug, but that's Bug, you know? I'm cuddling him tight, by the way, because it's Valentine's Day, and we are each other's Valentines.
But I am optimistic that you can prevent these two from suffering a similar fate.
I hope so.
I hope so. Them two are exhausting already.
Why not go for a walk? It is a fine night out. I believe the mortals of the city are engaged in some sort of celebration.
Oh.
Perhaps you can see what has them so excited.
Well, that's a fine idea, Andy. You have a good night.
I'm going out on the
Plan it. I
town.
must appreciate Crimson's fine ass as much as I can before she leaves for the United States.
Who's Crimson? I want to meet Crimson.
No
Been all men. I
details
want to
needed.
see the
I'll get
sexy
walking.
vampire ladies.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Why did he say rest in peace? Is that what people say when they say goodbye in Vampire World?
Sure is a fine evening. Mortals seem to be riled up about something. I can hear a lot of noise out there.
So why is this? Oh, this game was only made in 2024? Okay.
Oh, hey, Bert. You know what's
I
going
like
on
Bert.
out there?
Grunts excitedly.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
He must be speaking some kind of vampire grunting language.
Oh, I see. Well, well, let me get this straight.
Rabbit?
It's rabbit hunting season, ain't it? Ooh, I used to go hunting with my brother Jeb. I'm still a sharpshooter.
Leave the bunnies alone! I
Well,
got
you
it
don't see
wrong.
me judging your hobbies.
Oh, it's a festival?
Oh, what's this? People are really into back here. I never went in for that classical stuff.
Okay, we're upsetting Bert. We're upsetting Bert. We need to compliment him on his nose ring. Very nice nose ring.
It's too many notes for the likes of me. All right. Don't go reaching for your pitchfork. Maybe I'll go downtown and listen. Jeez, I guess I hit a sore spot. I'll head into the city and see if I can't find out what the deal is with this Bach fella.
Okay.
Oh, well, butter my biscuits. I think that's
Butter
the
my
man himself.
biscuits.
Johann Sebastian Bach. Doesn't look like a fella I drink a beer with.
What are you talking about, cowboy? Bach is the coolest.
Oh, look, they all have like matching hair. Oh, so she's blue, he's pink, and then he's purple. Doesn't blue and pink make purple? Am I making that up?
Didn't realize I was talking to myself. You gotta admit, though, Phil looks like his dog left him a present on the couch.
What are you talking about? Bach is the man.
Yeah, a real man.
Oh.
Yeah, I would fuck him.
Oh.
We just got
What's
a Bach
happening?
concert. They played all the hits.
That sounds like a good hit.
Jumping Jehoshaphat, what the hell was that?
Der Bacher.
Der Bachhasser.
What?
Der Bachhasser.
Yeah, Bachhasser! What did I just say?
Hasser?
It means the Bach-hater.
Oh. That sounds pretty similar to Boogie, you know. Wonder if he did voice acting for this
There's
game.
no such thing as a Bach hater. Everyone loved Bach.
Wasn't Sam just saying that he doesn't?
I would fuck him.
Oh, they're triplets. I thought they were lovers.
Yeah, I picked up on that the first time. Is there someone out there who might have a bone to pick with Bach?
Dude, Bach is dead.
Is he a vampire now, though?
Wow, Bach is life, bro.
Why would anyone alive have a problem with the greatest musician of all time?
Maybe they ain't alive.
Yeah.
Whoa. That is deep.
It is? Ooh.
Maybe this is one of our kind in need of help. I ought to track them down. I'll ask these kids some questions.
Has anyone ever seen the screamer? When does this scream happen? Why would anyone bother to hate back? When does it
So
happen?
when does this scream happen?
When Bach's spirit is pleased.
Then Der Bachhasser is one of our music god's most famous pieces.
A total loser.
A rude person.
Rude!
Hey,
Is it rude?
labeling is a pretty rude thing to do, you know. Maybe someone had a legitimate beef with Bach. I'm sure he wasn't all good.
Shh. He didn't mean it.
Getting growled at?
Has anyone ever seen the
This
screamer?
guy?
There is a legend that a ghost haunts the streets of Leipzig.
Ooh,
heard
ghost
It was
story.
a giant rat.
Wearing a
Giant
hat.
rat? Can I
It was
cuddle it?
definitely wearing a hat.
Giant rat in a hat?
Ooh, where's the hat?
A rat wears the hat.
I'm just gonna fade into the darkness here. Why would anyone hate Bach?
Maybe they don't like Lutherans.
It's because they hate music and our freedom.
They don't like Bach because they hate your freedom?
I think it must be another composer.
Richard Wagner was here.
Oh, supposer.
The Nazi.
Oh.
The Nazi poser.
Ah!
Being a Nazi poser is the worst.
You heard it, guys. Don't be a Nazi poser.
I agree.
I think I've got some idea of what might be going on here. Potentially.
Yeah? Are you going to hunt down Der Bachhasser, cowboy?
The back house.
I was thinking about it. Sounds like a soul in trouble if I ever heard one. Based
Yeah,
on
we're gonna
what
go
you
help
told me,
him.
I think I can piece together the real story. Not everything these kids said makes sense. I better get this right or we'll be here all night.
It's something wearing a hat.
Something wearing a hat. on, Bach's soul is happy. And is a total poser.
So, what you're saying is...
The screamer is wearing a hat.
Maybe.
Who cannot stand Bach's joy?
That's what you guys said.
Because they are a total Nazi poser.
Yeah.
How would the streamer know if Bach's soul is unhappy?
And what is a soul?
Can you hate Bach and have a soul?
Stop making it complicated.
I
It's
guess
a
those are
nasty
pretty good
poser.
questions.
That's all we have to know.
Why would someone scream at being a poser?
Ah.
Existential angst.
The
Yes.
reason?
No one can claim Bach's throne.
It is true. It is pointless to be a poser. This does not make logic. I was hoping.
Oh, I
you would be a cowboy
misidentified them.
detective.
I got achievements and I
yeah.
misidentified them.
Not as cool as Bach.
But I don't think it was a
Obviously.
rat, was it? Because a rat doesn't scream like
Maybe I
that.
better guess again.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost.
Who screams at Bach's
Screams at Bach's
popular
popular
music
music.
and
And
resents Bach.
resents Bach.
So,
The screamer.
who is irritated?
Because they resent a
Sorry, I was
classical
going through that. I was
music
reading it. I was like
god.
trying to find out. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
Ghosts aren't real,
Ah,
cowboy.
ghosts are real.
I wish they were. If Bach were a ghost,
No,
I
we
would.
don't need
We
to
all
know
know
what
you
you
would.
do.
This does not make logic. I was hoping you would be a cowboy detective.
Oh,
I am a
yeah.
cowboy
That would
detective.
be cool.
I'm not as cool as Bach.
I'm not as cool as that.
Obviously.
Well, maybe I better guess again.
Okay. Okay. Is someone wearing a
Someone
hat
wearing a hat.
who screams at Bach's
Screams at
popular
Bach's
music
popular music.
and they're a
And
poser?
is a total poser.
So, what you're saying is
The screamer is wearing a hat.
Yes.
who is irritated by Bach's greatest hits?
Yes.
Because they are a total Nazi poser.
Yes.
Why would someone scream at being a poser?
Existential angst.
Good reason.
No one can claim Bach.
It is true.
Okay.
This does not make logic.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. You're
maybe
gonna
I better
criticize
guess
me.
again.
Okay. So is someone wearing a hat?
Wearing a hat.
Screams at Bach's popular
Screams at
music.
Bach's popular music.
It's not a nasty poser. Resents
And
Bach.
resents Bach.
So, what you're saying is
The screamer.
Yes.
who is
Yes.
Because they resent a classical music god.
Yes.
that sounds most logical. You must find their Bahasa.
And capture them.
Capture them.
Yeah, like the rat they are.
We already agreed it is not a rat.
Hold
If it
your
was a
horses
rat, I
there,
bet it
don't
would be
have to
good
do a
fun to
damn
bet.
thing. I hope I can help this creature, but not because I should. I just want to.
Hammer.
Empathy. It's so hot.
Yeah, super hot. Like Bach hot.
I ain't
Okay.
ready to go on the hunt just yet. I've got some resting to do. I'm sure this ghost of Leipzig can wait.
He usually disappears when the festival ends. I hope you catch him, cowboy.
Yo, wanna get fucked up and listen to the Goldberg variations?
Is he asking me?
Oh, fuck.
No.
We hope you find their Bahasa cowboy. Bah on.
Back
You back on
on.
too.
Yeah, back on, buddy.
Tarnation, this city really goes all out for back. Let's meet someone out there real sore. Well, I can't help anyone without rest. They can wait a little longer. I'll best get home to my coffin. Ugh, see you next time,
I've
Leipzig.
always wondered what it'd be like to sleep in a coffin. Like, part of me thinks it would be really comfy. But also, like, could you breathe properly? That's concerning.
Good evening, Samuel. Have you been enjoying your adventures in Leipzig?
Yeah, I suppose so. Folks seem to be in good spirits. They really like this Bach fella.
You don't like Bach?
Nah, I guess it ain't my style. Kinda showy, ain't it, with all them notes and all?
Perhaps you needed to be a part of the zeitgeist. It is hard to express what Bach mania was like in the 1730s. The screaming of teenage girls was unbearable. They would faint when they even caught a glimpse of the man. I favor his later works, however, even if they were more experimental. Perhaps you just need to hear it live.
I'm gonna be honest, I can't think of a single song by
maybe.
Bach right now.
So, you are seeing our revolutionary Frenchman tonight, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him alone. Reza seemed pretty quick to offend. This might be a more peaceful session.
I certainly hope so. From the last session, what cognitive distortion of Momo's do you think gets in the way of his relationship?
It's always been right.
He's being always right, ain't he? Seems like a smart fellow who's lived through a lot, but he doesn't know everything.
Yeah.
Excellent, Samuel. I knew you would recognize this pattern. What other distortions would you like to have in mind tonight?
Okay. I don't know. Labeling. Calls him a baby. I don't know. He's pretty chill, right? Control fallacy. Disqualifying the positive. I can't have that one. So I can't have certain ones. Originalization. And I'm gonna go with fairness fallacy, even though I don't know what it is.
Well, let's go with these.
Can I go into my book and find out again? Where's the things? We must find them. Cognitive distortions. Okay, so I chose fairness fallacy, right? What is that? What did I choose? Okay, what's control fallacy? A lot of us bloodsuckers have a habit either of feeling responsibility or soul control, or of feeling completely hopeless. Thing is, usually neither is true. Feeling hopeless don't mean we're powerless, and feeling untouchable don't mean we're invincible. That's a control fallacy either way. Our real capabilities are somewhere in between. Okay. And then fairness fallacy. You know those folks who say, I work hard so I deserve to get what I want? Well, just you thinking you deserve something don't mean the universe will reward you. Truth is, your definition of fair is personal and will conflict with other people's definitions. It's a fairness fallacy to assume our picture of what fair is the only reasonable outcome. I can see that with Momo.
Very well, my friend. Let us see what Momo has to reveal tonight.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Hey, Momo.
Bonsoir. Good seeing you again, Momo. How are you tonight?
What a question. How am I? I am dead. I am much the same as I was last night, and I expect I shall be the same tomorrow.
I really like Momo. Momo is very handsome, and I like his accent.
I was just exchanging pleasantries.
You do not have to do this. Death makes us free men, does it not? Let us not be bound by mortal society's expectations.
I like his attitude as well, how he's kind of like laid back and nothing really gets to him, stuff like that.
Well, I like pleasantries.
Oh, come now. You are simply bound by an outdated
Am I
social
flashing red
contract
again?
that dictates how we must greet each other. It is a form of oppression I know well. It is my field of study, after all.
Momo is clearly a learned man, but he does not know everything.
I was gonna go with always right.
Oh, come now.
Compadre, only I get to decide how I feel about pleasantries, and I reckon this idea about oppression is your own.
It is frustrating sometimes when like you have your own opinion about something and someone comes along and is like, no, it's all because of this. And like you listen to them, but then you're like, no, I still go with what I think about this. This is my own personal opinion and I am allowed it.
What's wrong with being polite anyway? We're all living on this planet together.
And how does it improve our relationship if we waste several minutes talking about the weather or what sort of television we're watching?
I love talking about the weather.
We can talk about anything at all. And we choose to say, howdy, nice weather we are having.
Yeah.
We are intelligent, introspective beings. Let us not talk of things. Let us talk of ideas. Let us speak with purpose.
But talking about ideas is all well and fun, but doing it all the time, like, just like, imagine Imagine what happens is you spend all night into like almost the sun rising hours talking about different ideas and philosophies, and then you go to bed and you wake up in the morning. Wouldn't you rather just see the person again and make a nice coffee or tea or something and be like, wow, it's raining outside, isn't that beautiful? Then jump straight back into another philosophical debate. Like, I like debates, but I much prefer to have my downtime as well. It doesn't always have to be about, you know, debating
If that's
things.
what'll work best for you, amigo, sure. Let's talk plain. What's going on with you and Reza, really? It seems his feelings are pretty hurt.
Yes, well, it is a relief to meet alone. He's so emotional. It's charming in its own way, but it is also exhausting. I remember what it was like to be him, to believe that I could construct a new world order. He is a sweet-hearted fool, much as I was. One cannot make others listen to reason. They must find it on their own.
Labeling?
Hombre, I think you're right on the money. Folks do have to find their way, but it ain't foolish to have hope.
No, it's not.
Part of the reason Reza gets so upset is because you're labeling him. Maybe you're comfortable with labeling yourself, but you don't get to decide how he feels about it.
That is true.
I am trying to teach him what we already know as older men. There is no reason for him to throw himself at his enemies over and over again.
I get that, but didn't you just say that folks have to find their own way? Is calling them fools the right way to do that?
That's it. Sometimes you've got to sit back and see the path they go on, and you can support them on that path, you can join them on that path, or you can say your path goes a different way to mine, you know?
I hope he develops some thicker skin. But I suppose I can lighten my words a little. I like that he is a freedom fighter, you know. In France, we value freedom more highly than anything else.
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe we should have called French fries freedom fries, huh?
Okay, from now on, I'm calling French fries freedom fries.
Mon ami, your politicians did exactly this thing. I found it quite a compliment. Of course, I cannot eat a potato, but I appreciated the sentiment.
But we did? Freedom fries is a real thing? Okay, freedom fries
I love that Reza
forever.
wants freedom, but he does not understand yet that his war is unwinnable. I'm simply trying to help him avoid frustration.
Why are you saying his war is unwinnable?
Because he is naive. He is a communist, you know, the sweet boy. He truly believes in the collective because he does not understand that there will never be a collective. I made the same mistake in life myself. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. But fraternité, c'est impossible. The privileged first and second estates shall never have common cause with the lower classes, and they can never be eliminated either.
Always right.
Padre, I ain't sure I understand all this estate stuff you're talking about, but what I do understand is a heck of a lot of extremes.
Yeah.
Impossible and never are pretty extreme descriptions. I've seen a hell of a lot of shit while walking in nature I used to think could never happen.
You believe I am using the polar thinking cognitive distortion, yes?
I think that even if you no longer believe that something can change, if somebody else has that hope and fire in their heart that it can, I think dismissing it as impossible all the time isn't really the right thing to do, especially if it's your partner. Again, it's about the path.
Oh, well, I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
Cute. Very well, Nosferatu thinking. We know that Nosferatu thinking does not apply when there is a true binary, though, yes? I will amend my statement. In our current form, humanity cannot merge its clergy, landowners, and commoners. Brotherhood, fraternité, it is pure comedy.
Sometimes it does feel like for everyone to come together, we need aliens to attack or something.
The comedy, of course, is that Louis says, Reza, and even I all believe the same fiction right to the grave. We cannot eliminate the classes. No one created the ancien regime that separated lords and peasants. It was inevitable.
Maybe you'd better explain this funny French stuff to me. Let me ask you some questions.
I like how I decided to play this game because I thought it'd be like fun couples counseling, and instead we're getting like philosophy, politics, history, like all these different things. And I'm just sat here like dumb duck and brain, do 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 do. Ancien regime.
You mentioned this ancient regime
Ancient
thing.
regime.
So what's that mean in English?
It means the old regime, the old order, feudalism essentially. Society was run by the king in the capital, the church in Rome, and the local lord. We lived in small communities, blissfully ignorant of the concept of liberty. Our lords provided stability, and the church provided comfort. It worked pretty well for 600 years, until the church and the lords decided we peasants were too smelly to be around.
We peasants? Do you consider yourself a peasant?
I think he was one, right? Because Reza said now he's an aristocrat.
Clever boy. No. I am clearly bourgeois. But we must have common goals, cowboy. We, the peasants, and the bourgeoisie are, as they say in your country, the 99%, oui?
I ain't so sure vampires fit into the 99% or the 1% as dead men, but let's not spend too much time on definitions.
What's your beef with King
What's
Louis?
your beef with King Louis?
Our last king, sweet Louis XVI. When I was alive, I believed him to be the symbol of everything I hated as part of the tax-paying class. In retrospect, he had too tender an heart to be king. I believe he actually wanted his subjects to be happy. But we would never be happy again, not without his head. That at least he gave us.
Ooh.
What's with you people and chopping off heads?
Gonna head chopping.
You people, not very politically correct of you, mon ami.
I didn't mean anything by it. Just seems funny to me.
It's symbolism. You have symbolism in your country, yes? We had 3 estates, and much like the Hydra, it had too many heads. If we did not cut them off, tyranny would never die.
Well, you could have written some poetry instead, maybe. But anyway.
What are these
Hold
states?
on. You keep mentioning these estates like I have any earthly clue what they are. You gotta slow down there, hombre.
It's simple. The estate was the official hierarchy of French society before the revolution, the time of peasants and kings. The first estate was the clergy, the second estate the aristocracy, the church and the king and lords. Both of these estates paid no taxes and owned much of the country. They were both rulers and owners. The third estate was literally everyone else. The ruled class, the tax-paying class. When the king called the estates together, the third estate had but a single vote to represent the people.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute. That's bullpucky. That's 2 against 1 by default.
Ah, bravo! The cowboy understands the brutal, inevitable reality of class systems.
Hey, come on. I come from a society where we don't have these estate things.
Oh, mon cher enfant de ténèbres, you have so much to learn still.
There's a lot I don't know. I ain't ashamed of that. In fact, I think I got some more questions for you.
I've got some more questions for you. Wait, my brain can't take anymore.
I think I can follow what you're saying now. So you're saying that Rez is naive because he thinks the classes can see each other as equals.
Exactement. This is what he is too young to understand. He believes his revolution can succeed, and he hates when I try to explain to him that it never will. In 1792, we founded the first French Republic, created in liberty for the good of all our people for all time. It lasted 7 years before we had an emperor. France is in its 5th republic now. How long will this one last? Not forever. It is, of course, doomed.
Always
I
right.
gotta cut in there, Bronco. You're speaking with a heck of a lot of certainty here that the Republic is doomed.
You can't be serious. Are you suggesting that 3,000 years from now, France will still be in its glorious 5th Republic? Perhaps we will start a Martian colony that will be the center of trade in the solar system. And of course, we will speak space French.
Space French.
You're putting words in my mouth.
I want to
I'm just
learn
pointing out that you
space
can't tell the
French.
future, and doom ain't necessarily the end of every republic. Couldn't the republic change to adjust to a new reality, maybe? Or heck, maybe there is an itty-bitty chance the republic actually will be kicking around on Mars.
I mean, hey, I heard someone was looking to go to Mars.
Very well, it is a wager. If the Fifth French Republic is still here in the year 5024, I will give you my finest bottle of blood.
Oh, yes, please.
But poor Reza, he still believes, in spite of thousands of years of history screaming the truth at him.
That is one thing. If you've been around for thousands of years and you see history repeating and replaying itself all the time, like the revolution happens and it isn't long before the peasants then move into the castles and then they, you know, decide that they're in charge. I can see where Momo's coming from, but when you have a heart full of hope, I can see where Reza's coming from too.
He is angry at me for pointing out the truth to him. But why should he be angry with me? I did nothing but show him reality.
Showed him your
But
reality.
Reza is most irritating. He is angry that I do not share his passion. He seems to believe that I should still be chanting on the streets, bayonet in hand. What are you doing for the cause? You just sit there doing nothing. Of course, I had to banish him to the other side of the castle, just for a little peace. Any good dear Reza can achieve is trifling at best. Let him have his silly, pointless little revolution. I already had mine.
I can understand that as well. Like, if you don't want to be part of a revolution or something, like, being forced into it by your partner, especially when you've lost hope. Because it sounds like Momo has lost hope. So why would he want to do it? He's already done it. And he's saying it didn't work out. Is he? Can't remember. Well, anyway, he's lost hope and he's, not happy with how things are. And if Reza's constantly, like, poking at him and saying, come on, you need to get your bayonet, we need to go out there. I can see why Momo would be like, you know what? I am, like, 200 and something years old. I just want some peace.
It is a shame, really. You know, when we first met, he idolized me.
How so?
The revolutionaries of his time looked up to the French. The bourgeoisie of Iran studied Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Voltaire, and were awakened. And dear Reza, he studied me. I was something of an intellectual celebrity to him. You see, I am no Rousseau. Through the simplification of language and the power of the printed word, I united the bourgeoisie and the peasantry. There could be no revolution without both.
So, like, catchphrases? Tip a canoe and Tyler too? Or what was Andrew Jackson's catchphrase? Oh yeah, engines go home.
Engines go home.
That is the stupidest thing I've heard in at least 80 years. Did Andrew Jackson actually say that?
I think it was more something his supporters said. Caught on though.
Just because I wrote to the common people doesn't mean I wrote trash. I wrote truth, and I wrote it well. Everyone was waiting to see what I wrote next in the revolutionary newspaper, Le Père Duchesne. In many ways, I was the people's voice.
Always right again? No?
I think we are entering Edmund Keane territory here, my friend.
Okay.
I wrote truth, and I wrote it well.
Amigo, I ain't never seen a big group of folk ever totally agree on anything. You can't really think folks were waiting on your every word.
Mon ami, we sold more than 10,000 copies per newspaper. There was no other publication with such a wide circulation at the time.
I reckon there were more than 10,000 folks in France at the time, though, right? And I reckon you had a few enemies.
But of course! Of course! Like, has there ever been a time when everyone has agreed? We're humans, we're complicated. Well, I'm a dragon, but you guys are humans.
Aren't you doing
And to be fair, us dragons are complicated too. Like I said before, revolution in Cylindria.
I think you know I ain't doing that. But I ain't gonna mind read. Do you think I was disqualifying your positive by saying not everyone was waiting to hear from you?
Very well. No. Not everyone was waiting to hear from me. I had a particular target. I cater to the intellectual, but I do not mean it in an exclusive sense. You see, when I called for égalité, equality, I meant it. There are men and women of every class whose minds are ready to be opened. It was to them that I wrote. It was the sleeping intellectual who needed to hear from me. The commoner had been lulled into a centuries-long slumber by the church, but my reason, presented plainly, would be their awakening.
This guy seems pretty cool to me.
Now hold on there,
I just
fella.
keep
think you're
clicking always
overgeneralizing
right.
about commoners like me. It ain't fair to suggest we're all sleeping.
Well, no, people, yeah. I guess it is wrong to say they were all sleeping because they would have been having their own issues to deal with. But if he was an aristocrat, people from what they keep calling it, the peasant class, the peasants, wouldn't know the troubles that Momo is seeing and the way that the peasants were being ruled from Momo's point of view.
We don't choose to be poor and exploited. That's just the luck of the draw. Pardon me for saying so, but you're making it sound like you've got all the answers and we're simpletons just waiting to hear them.
Fine, I admit it. I am bourgeois. I do not see things as the commoner sees them, much as I would like to believe I am empathetic enough to do so. But it does not matter. At least I recognize that commoners and the bourgeoisie needed common cause. You are truly a most vexatious vampire.
Vexatious vampire.
You ain't the first vampire to call me that.
Yes, I know. My friend Edmund Keene was the one who told me about you. I am not sure what you did to that man, but you certainly had an effect.
He must have been from the main game.
Just showed him a little reality, that's all. Sounds like we're both in the same business, huh?
We're in the same business. I recognize the futility, relative futility of that work now. Still, I came to you because I also value reality. That was one of the other things about me that used to earn Reza's affection.
How do you mean?
I am a man of reason. I believe in no gods. There is only one God, and that is the God that resides within us, the capacity to reason. God is the little gray cells within our skulls.
Interesting.
And I revere the human mind. In my time, I was part of a cult. The cult of reason, we called it.
But their version of reason wouldn't be somebody else's reason.
Alas, reason seems to be dead these days. The only place where I can find like-minded people is on Reddit.
Said it.
Said it?
It's a forum website. There is one in particular dedicated to atheism that has similarly enlightened people. They remind me so much of my compatriots in our Great Revolution.
Can you imagine if you were actually on Reddit and unbeknownst to you, you were talking to a vampire? That would be
we
so
knew
cool.
the value of the first estate, the clergy. No value at all. Why worship God? We should worship ourselves.
No?
We are all old enough to know that worshipping humans is bad news, my friend.
We knew the value of the first estate.
We
No?
are all old enough to know that
We knew
Hold on.
Always
a sec
right
there. Maybe
again?
reason
This
was a
dude's
fine enough
always
God for
right.
you, but some of us are looking for something greater than ourselves. That ain't a bad thing. Having a faith doesn't mean we're radicals. Sometimes it just means we're looking for some order and purpose in a crazy world.
Don't tell me you're an Abrahamist.
I ain't never said I was. My faith is my business, personal to me alone. But we ain't ever gonna find common cause if you're judging me.
That's true.
I will not deny that you seem somewhat rational. Perhaps not in your dress, but your thought.
Almost so
But still,
rude.
why should it be dangerous to find faith in myself? It was for this truth that I had my head cut off by my own compatriots. They thought this faith too radical. Reza watched radical Islamists take over his revolutionary movement. They killed him for being a homosexual or for being a communist. It does not matter which.
I think it matters some.
Not really. They feared Reza simply for being himself. It is no surprise that he was fascinated by the cult of reason and the church of the self. He believes, as I did, that religion must be crushed in order for the people to gain their liberty.
I don't think so. I keep, my Slendrian faith to myself.
But you've softened your opinion a little, it sounds like.
No, not at all. But religion, much like class, is resistant to extermination. All religion is extremism. That is what gives it its resiliency. There is nothing we can do about that.
Labeling? No!
all religion is the
He
same
labeled
tomorrow,
it.
but is it so? I doubt the faithful would agree with this theory.
No,
That's giving up, partner. Power corrupts, ain't no secret about that.
Power
But whether it's
corrupts.
the feds or the church or a company, there's always going to be corrupt elements. But if we sit back and say, that's the way things are going to be, well, we're surely going to be proven right.
I can't wait to tell you guys about what happened on Salandria and the stuff that I was involved in and dealing with. and trying to end a certain corruption. But I can't talk about it too much just yet.
That kind of Nosferatu thinking is a good way of giving up control, and that's a way to make sure the bad guys are the ones running the show.
Yes, of course. I do not disqualify the positive of what I did. We did temper extreme elements in both the first and second estates. Religion, like the state, simply needed a correction. The French Revolution was a correction. But power will always need correction. And it is the oppressed who must do the correcting. There is no equality in that.
No.
Momo speaks a sad truth, and truth is reluctant to accept correction.
Control fallacy?
I get it, Hermano. You're right. It ain't fair that the powerful don't have to fight for their places in the world. But focusing on that unfairness may be the thing that makes us resentful and give up when things ain't fair.
That's
You are very
interesting.
clever. You should wear nicer clothes. People will respect your words more.
Hey, his outfit's just fine.
Nah, I like my style. Besides, I think my folksy ways are working for me.
Pity. Yes, you are correct. I have perhaps become too resentful for one as young as I am. I
Yeah.
admit it. There is an element to what Reza says about me that is true. I am a sellout in a way.
Yeah, in a way. But at the same time, maybe sometimes people are just like quote unquote sellouts because they've seen certain things that just change their mind.
But the truth is that I am exhausted. When I was alive, oh, how I burned for liberty, just as Reza burns. And he is so fucking hot when he burns.
Ooh.
He really does remind me of myself.
Did you find yourself really hot? I mean, that's fine and dandy, Momo. You are a very attractive vampire man. But yeah, that's an interesting way to put it.
But reason must come before passion, lest we become the monsters we seek to depose. And my reason says to me, Momo, let your exhaustion be a lesson. Power will also burn itself. There is no need to fight.
Fairness fallacy? No.
If what Momo says were true, no one would do anything at all simply because of the exhaustion of being human.
And my reason says to me, Momo, let your
maybe?
exhaustion...
If
No,
what
okay.
Momo says were,
And my reason
Always
says to
right.
me,
No!
if what Momo
And my reason
Organization.
says to me,
No!
what Momo
I can't believe I got
says
it
were
wrong
true.
so
And my
much.
reason-
You might
Control
be leaving a little
fallacy.
too much to fate here, Hermano. If everyone thought like you did, no tyrant would ever lose power.
That's true.
Individual folks can make a difference, just not all the difference. After all, if no one resisted, how would anyone even know there was a resistance?
You are not wrong. A tyrannical leader must at least have some fear, and that we can provide as citizens. Perhaps I have been forcing my personal truth upon Reza, but I only aim to protect him. The poor boy burns himself in the flames of his passion. I did the same. I know what is best for him because I did the same thing myself. If only he would understand this.
It has to be always right. Yeah.
Padre, I got no doubt that you've had your own hard realizations about what you need to find peace. And I got no doubt them realizations are right for you. But you're a man of reason, so I'll lay it to you straight. Maybe what's right for you ain't right for Reza.
Yeah. You're two different people.
Maybe it ain't
Two
right for him
different
now.
paths in life.
Maybe it won't ever be right for him. He's a lot younger than you and me. He ain't found his peace yet. It took me 90 years of walking in the woods to find mine. Maybe he won't need to do that, but he's gonna find his peace in his own way, in his own time.
Just like how Reza can't force Momo to join the revolution, Momo can't force Reza to stop.
Damn it. Yes, well reasoned, and again, most vexatious.
I mean, because if you're just forcing someone to stop what they're passionate about without any reason that reaches them and makes them think, oh, perhaps this is the right path after all to stop, you're just going to leave that fire burning in their heart and they'll come to resent you.
I've got that tendency.
Is just so damned odd. Ironic, isn't it? The thing that I find most frustrating about him is what makes me want to ravish him. Well, what do you think we should do then? My wisdom was what brought him to my castle doors. If my wisdom is pointless...
Maybe the fact that he finds Reza so hot when he's like being a revolutionary, it means that somewhere deep down in Momo, that revolutionary is still there. He's just kind of so exhausted with it, and after what happened to him, getting the old head chop.
I ain't here to tell you what to do. If I've helped you reflect on some stuff, that's my job done, and I can't do more than that.
Cleverly played again, cowboy. Very well. I suppose all I can do for now is wait and see if his blood cools a little after you talk to him. But don't calm him too much. I like them spicy.
I'll talk to him the same way I've been talking to you, friend. I think that's our time. Next time I'll see you two together, all right?
Of course, I shall be patient. We have all the time in the world, after all. Well, I thank you for the frank and well-reasoned discussion.
I've got like hundreds, if not thousands of years ahead of me, but I am still incredibly impatient. If I want something, I want it now!
Men in Germany, Abi and Tot? Huh? Oh, merde. Tot means dead in German. Please try to learn a language. Au revoir, cowboy.
Wait, so when we have tater tots, are we having dead potatoes? I suppose we are! Ah, the truth reveals itself.
I do so enjoy watching you work, my friend. Even the most intellectual sorts are no match for your honesty.
Well, I ain't gonna play them at their own game, that's for sure. Maybe
He's a
I'll
very
go
good
back to school
therapist.
and pick up a few PhDs eventually, but I ain't in no rush.
If you need a recommendation for any school, simply ask. I have connections at many of them.
I bet
I
you
assume I
do.
can trust you to not try dating the college mortals. They are scarcely out of high school.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that. That'd be weird.
Ain't my way, Chief. All the young mortals can talk about is their favorite music, and their favorite music sucks more than we do.
You are not wrong about that, my dear. I fear the algorithm has taken to songwriting as well these days. Are you spending a night on the town tonight? The Bach Festival is in full swing.
Yeah, that's my plan. I'm still looking for whoever's got this.
Oh
beef
yeah,
with
we've got to
Bach.
find
Seems
the
like they're a
person in the
pretty bad
hat.
way.
They aren't your responsibility, Samuel, you know.
Yeah, I know, but you know me. I love me some complicated folk.
That you do. Very well, Samuel. I wish you happy hunting. Rest in peace.
I'm gonna start saying. Okay, maybe I shouldn't. I was gonna say like when I'm on the phone to someone, and you know how you normally say bye, and you're like, okay, thank you, bye, and they go bye, and then you can go rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Andy.
Is that saved there? Because we've been going on for quite a while now. So we are going
Not sure Momo needs a
to... Yes,
therapist if
that
he
must be
already knows
saved.
everything.
Okay, so... Oh, we can just save here. Save.
At
Okay.
least I can listen to some nice music. That Bach festival's probably
Thank you
rollicking
so
like a
much for
Saturday night
joining me
saloon.
this Valentine's Day with some couples therapy. It was way heavier than I expected. What a game with all the stuff put into it. It's really good. But yeah, I don't really talk about stuff like that because I don't know much. Like I don't like to pretend that I know a lot of stuff about like politics and history and things and talk. Of course I have my own opinions, but they can change, like the wind. I'm very open-minded. But yes, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And if you're a vampire, I hope you rest in peace. Please remember that on Friday, next Friday, the 21st of February, I will be live on Twitch, where my name is Acelladai. So yes, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And bye. Rest in peace.